How are you, Zimbabweans? Seeing that none of you Zimbabweans take me seriously, or even the God who sent me, or even any of the input am bringing forward to take our country forward. Therefore, let me give advice to those of you in Harare politics, both in ZANU-PF and in Triple C, since you are the ones driving the ship and you do not want us, or you do not want to use us or our input. Even see that even the general population of Zimbabwe are not woke people. They do not know what is hitting them. They're just being hit and complaining. But when they're told that it is King Charles III, they don't understand. Because our people have been beaten to submission. Black people now worship white people. Exactly, I said it. That is why Zimbabwe is suffering. We cannot be able to stand on our own. ZANU-PF is complaining about sanctions, British and American sanctions. Yet Smith had sanctions, but he ran a good economy. It is because the black people that run ZANU-PF have got no clue of what to do when sanctions hit them. Listen, the United Kingdom is a country independent from Zimbabwe. It is a very competitive country. It will do whatever it thinks it's fit for its own interests, for its own glory. It has got no intention or mandate to strengthen Harare. That job belongs to the politicians in Harare. So stop whining and crying like little girls about sanctions and do something about it. You need to get up and from your seats and begin to work economic magic. The world is bigger than Britain. The world is bigger than USA. Economic sanctions to me make no absolute sense because all of our minerals, we are not selling them to the British or the Americans. We're selling them to the Chinese. As far as I'm concerned, we don't have any sanctions from the Chinese. And most of the things that we buy from China because China is the manufacturing hub of the whole world. So I do not see how good relations with China will lead for a fall in the Zimbabwean economy, all because of US and UK sanctions. How do they affect our economy, really? You see, it is just all a lie. Sanctions are bad because they give ZANU-PF an excuse to run down the economy and have something to blame. Yet we know that the suffering are because of the corruption in government and also their corrupt relationship with the British elite. Since none of you will believe me or listen to me or take me seriously or even take seriously the warnings of the Lord that has sent me, now let me help you. Since you Triple C believe in white superiority and you're going to run to pretend to ask for help of what to do with Edim Nangagwa. Now, when you go and ask the British, when you speak to the British, ask them there's two questions. Number one, be very definitive in your questioning and demand a definitive answer. Ask them, does the UK government have a a mandate to bring Zimbabwe out of the chains of ZANU-PF? Does the UK government have an intention of helping liberate the oppressed black Zimbabweans in Zimbabwe? Get a yes or a no, not a kind of answer. If they say yes, let us move forward with them. If they say no, I will tell you, I told you, the British have got no intention of blessing Zimbabwe. But they will not say no, they will not say yes. Historically, the answer that has been given is let the Zimbabweans sort out their own issues. The Zimbabweans must talk amongst themselves, which is essentially a no, whilst knowing at the background that they are aiding Nangagwa to carry on transferring wealth from Zimbabwe to British banking system. It is the banking city of London, those banksters in the city of London who are actually dry, who are destroying our country dry. Because Edim Nangagwa, their stooge, does not need to sell minerals to UK. UK produces nothing. The economy has got no value. In fact, the big thing about the UK economy is financial services. Do you know what that means? It means stealing money from Africa and banking it in London. That's what it means. We don't sell gold, diamonds, or platinum or anything of that nature to the UK. We sell it to China. UK produces nothing. But when China pays us that money and it is stolen, he banks it with his London buddies. That's what London exists for. The whole River Thames, nothing is happening there except massive global looting from poor, unsuspecting countries because the poor people like the Black Zimbabweans do not know what really is going on. And when we tell Zimbabweans, they think we're crazy, but it is the truth. And your Chamisa, whom I always tell people, if you trust in Chamisa, Lizo Chamisa. Ngoba Chamisa has got no plan, he has got no balls to stand up against this international mafia. Let alone he can't even stand up against the Harare mafia. He has not been able to come up with a solid plan of taking the country forward. Because a solid plan to take the country forward has to include the elite in Harare. It has to include the bankers in Harare. It has to include the industrialists of the country. It has to include even some of the ZANU PF bigwigs who are heartful with what Idim Nangagwa is doing. That terrible Idim Nangagwa, what he's doing to the country, what he has done to ZANU PF. Idim Nangagwa has practically raped ZANU PF itself. ZANU PF, which is a part of war veterans, a part of Robert Mugabe, they set the country free, and this is what Idim Nangagwa is doing. There's a lot of dissatisfied voices within ZANU PF right now who do not have a voice owing for the fact that they are ZANU PF, but they are looking unto Chamisa, but Chamisa is just being snobbish instead of and happy with having good being called chete chete and using that just to negotiate for some sweet deals that Idim Nangagwa gives him. Whatever nice things that Idim Nangagwa, his cousin, gives him, Chamisa is just happy. He's just happy. He just eats the money, and Zimbabwe carries on suffering. That's why I'm saying that Chamisa is a failure. He's an epic failure on so many levels, and therefore we should demand now that he steps down from being the president of Triple C. And I know that when I say this, it's so unpopular to the uninitiated, to uninformed, to the sleeping Zimbabweans who are not woke. If you're a woke Zimbabwean, you will understand what I'm talking about. That Chamisa is sleeping on the job. Essentially, he is Idim Nangagwa's mistress. And as Idim Nangagwa's mistress, he will do anything to please Idim Nangagwa and nothing to do with the people. Before the elections, we told him, do not go for elections because these elections are already rigged. But he went ahead anyway and promised people that if we go for the elections, he will take the country forward. He went to the elections, they were rigged. He did nothing, didn't go to court. He's now waiting for some men in SADC to come and help him. SADC men have got their own countries to run. Why must they be worried about Zimbabwe? But the Chete Chete Brigade, which really is a group of CIOs who are working for Idim Nangagwa and the Harare elites to keep us oppressed, will not allow voices like mine to be pushed forward because their agenda is not to build Zimbabwe. I'm calling for the Zimbabweans that really have got a good heart and good intention and a good agenda to build Zimbabwe. I'm calling for the Harare elite who see the lies and the lies that Idim Nangagwa and Nelson Chamisa are pushing to the people of Zimbabwe. I'm calling to the elite in the Zimbabwean military. I'm calling for my chef arikuziona izvo zvisina musoro izvo Chamisa it is hazvishandi izvi tofanira kuvaka nyika yetu properly and certain agenda that builds a nation and not be snobbish and not worry kuti mundevere or this one is short, is tall, is male, is female, is what we need now is not order. We need to prioritize economic substance, sound economic principles that are backed by a banking system that is well regulated and can be trusted by both Zimbabweans and foreign investors, a rule of law, a government that respects rule of law and respects human rights so that we can attract foreign and direct foreign investments and also inspire local investment. That is kind of a political movement that we need to forge ahead by fire, by force. As I told you that uh, you do not need a majority. There is no revolution that has ever succeeded because of a majority. What we need is a minority that is well focused, that laser focused on knowing what it's doing. I need men of integrity, men of honor, and women of integrity and women of honor as well, who do understand what is at stake and are willing to climb the mountain. Yes, the mountain is very large, the winds are working against us, but we need to soldier on and stay in them. For the great work that we are about to do is tremendous, and those that come against us run the world. I'm talking about King Charles III and the whole entire British military, British intelligence system, their global networks of Anglo-Saxon white people all over the world, the Americans, the South African white people, the Australians, the New Zealanders. All of them will come up against us because they all fear black excellence, and therefore you need to be cognizant of such an uphill battle and remain stern and resolute. Know who you are, black man. Know who you are, black woman. Trust yourself. God is in you. You are power. You can deliver a successful country, a successful economy. We can take it out of the British stooge that Itim Nangagwa and Nelson Chamisa who are lying to the people of Zimbabwe. We can see between the lies and know that we can get ahead forward. Together we can make it. And I told you that I'm not looking for popularity. I'm looking for the few people who have got the positive intentions of building our country. For no one else is going to come and build our country. There's no white person that I know, that I have never seen, who has got interest in actually bringing black people up. So it's up to us to do it on our own. Yes, it is us now, therefore, to sort our own problems. All right. Let us not wait for the Americans. Let us not even wait for the Chinese. Don't even think about the Russians. He who comes to help us will come to help us. But if no one comes to help us, we are going to soldier forward on our own. And therefore, I accept that a lot of people do not accept this proposition because they're uninformed. It's just like the many thousands of people that are protesting around the world against the the armies of Israel, because they do not understand what they are protesting about. The people that claim to love Palestinian women and children have got no idea that it's not Israel that is causing those children and women to die. It is Hamas that is using them as a human shield. It is actually the Arab countries that is that forcefully live that forcefully seek to have Palestinians in the land of Israel just to provoke Israel to war and then cry foul to the whole world. And the whole world, the learned people, even in University of Pennsylvania, in Harvard, in all the Ivy League schools, and even in Hollywood, supporting Hamas because they've been perplexed by the propaganda. Why I'm saying this? I'm saying this because the majority of people usually do not know. It's not that they're not bad people. They're not crazy. They're not evil people. They are nice people. Angelina Jolie is a nice woman. I love her. I love her movies. But they are wrong in Hollywood when they support Hamas because because of that. Israel goes ahead and does what is right. Destroy Hamas, secure an Israel that is free from the Arab attack, and send the Arabs back to Arab nations and secure Israel as a Jewish state. For that is the right thing to do and the honorable thing to do. And therefore, that is why we back Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli Defense Forces in their quest and their right to defend themselves. In the same breath as Zimbabweans, you do not expect the majority of Zimbabweans to support you when you remove Idim Nangagwa and Nelson Chamisa from Zimbabwean politics, because the Chamisa brigade do not know. They will support him not because they are bad people, not because they don't want to see Zimbabwe succeed. No, it's just because they're uninitiated, uninformed, and still sleeping and not walk. The walk are the few. Those who walk by the narrow gate get to know the truth, but most of the people walk by the wide and easy gate, where they do not do any investigation of their own, but they're just spoon-fed by the popular media and follow the story with the Shamisa Chete Chete, Ngapi, Demkomana, yet they do not know or have never ever gotten deeper to understand the lies around those lines. And therefore, the few of us who are dedicated to truth have to lead the country to victory, even if the country does not want to go to victory. We need to usher that birth of a new Zimbabwe, because this baby is about to be born, but the baby is not coming out. Because the baby is not coming out, we will have to do a cesarean birth. Who will need to cut the stomach of mother Zimbabwe so that the child in the womb may actually be brought out. And we cut that umbilical cord from mother Britain and say, enough is enough, UK. You can no longer oppress our people anymore. We have had enough. King Charles will give you a red card. Zimbabwe is no longer yours. Robert Mugabe gave you warnings a long time ago when he said, Britain, keep your Britain and let me keep my Zimbabwe. I rest my case. I think it's enough evil chatter for the day. Otherwise, they are going to say that we are demagogues or we are too much of uh, notorious politicians. Yet all that we want is just freedom. Is that too much to ask for, people of the world? Is that too much to ask for? To ask for our rights as a nation, our right to development that has been denied by the mighty British Empire? Is that too much to ask for? That we ask that as a nation we are allowed to have politicians who build our country peacefully. We are not terrorists, we're not bothering anyone, but we want to stay safe in our own country. Is that too much to ask for? However, you will realize that it's not too much to ask for. But King Charles III, who is a bully, the British mafia, the British media, the British history itself is filled with British bullying around the world. Countries like India, who know better because of what Britain has done to India historically, should be standing up in the line to support us as we seek victory against the British Empire. Yes, the Indians won against the British Empire. We too, as Zimbabweans, can still win. Do not look at yourself and say you are small, you are not going to achieve it. We can achieve. The British and the Anglo-Saxons and the white people around the world need to know that us black people are people too. We are human too. There is nothing wrong with us being allowed to succeed as a nation. They need to start smelling their own armpits and beginning to say that what they have been in the wrong here, and there's nothing that they can be able to defend themselves by, because clearly England, the United Kingdom, is in the wrong. Clearly white countries are in the wrong for historically pursuing policies that keep black nations underserved. And if possible, they've been using force, yes, military force, and even destroying the political systems of those black nations to serve the interests of Britain and her allies, who are predominantly white people. Have a great day.